Hello, me din Edeswella. Eba na ma ho asem dia. Enya sometimes I told the bi o say yetena se ne yedwendwen ye ho.
Enyimde, emesiafo ye wo ye no dodo a. Dementi ehu behia pa de ne dan nyina ye behia ne yezie ho ye ho komo.
Ye issues ne de dozo efri fie ekọ edwumem ekọ asori.
Die na wo pese ye nka ho asem ma o. Eya po mu din za ofa ye na abrabọ ho, za ofa ye na namuntu ho, efie nsensem, sikasem. Edie be mampemu agro. Ni na ye ka ho asem ma o.
Ensane santi na shi dwumedie na aba ama emma no. Ememe amore mfi muso mo de ewo mu.
Yeton safo de enye ne betena shi dwumezi no do na yezi ye ho nkomo ama ye na abrabọ no wetumpon
yetena sese ma edidi ye ho nkomo efa aware ho yedidi ye ho nkomo efa yesikasem ho yetena se ayesan so adwendwen ye ho kwan befa so abatan obetumi amare wedwuma ene wo fie
she show oye the she show
she the ladies chat room. It's all about us. Good evening, our lovely viewers. And then so your mama kwaba eba shi dwumedie so. Today we are bringing it to you live at Ocean One Studios, Elmina, Itre to be precise, at Ahumkefi. That is where we are holding the She Show. Now, last week, it was a month of, in fact, we are still in a month of love, but last week was a week of love. Into your diabetic and all that, how love can even affect your health as human beings. This week we are moving on to customer relations. Customer relations. At a point we are all customers, and at a point you render services. How are we supposed to relate to people we come into contact with? Who are shop? How do you relate with them? Wow, hospital, doctors, nurses, the service providers. Assistance. How do we relate with them? And another question is, who falters most? Is a male, female. You see who falters. And the customer relation, you're correct. Once on the customer relations, and your papa, you try you ever see that we just dive into the main issue. See you soon. Hello, me din Edeswella. Eba na ma ho asem dia. Enya sometimes I told the bi o say yetena se ne yedwendwen ye ho.
Enyimde, emesiafo ye wo ye no dodo a. Dementi ehu behia pa de ne dan nyina ye behia ne yezie ho ye ho komo.
Ye issues ne de dozo efri fie ekọ edwumem ekọ asori.
Die na wo pese ye nka ho asem ma o. Eya po mu din za ofa ye na abrabọ ho, za ofa ye na namuntu ho, efie nsensem, sikasem. Edie be mampemu agro. Ni na ye ka ho asem ma o.
Ensane santi na shi dwumedie na aba ama emma no. Ememe amore mfi muso mo de ewo mu.
Yeton safo de enye ne betena shi dwumezi no do na yezi ye ho nkomo ama ye na abrabọ no wetumpon
yetena sese ma edidi ye ho nkomo efa aware ho yedidi ye ho nkomo efa yesikasem ho yetena se ayesan so adwendwen ye ho kwan befa so abatan obetumi amare wedwuma ene wo fie
she show oye the she show
she the ladies chat room. It's all about us.
Hi, my name is Nana Ifa Obing.
I am Dr. Aduma Jumofoko. Munyaba Ajoa Hinene.
You're from Michael Teji Soto.
If I had malaria, would you talk to me? Would you play with me? If I had diabetes, would you talk to me? Would you eat with me? What if I had hypertension? Would you socialize with me? Then why is it that if I have HIV, you wouldn't do any of these with me?
HIV is yare, it is a 3G yare, it is a mujabroso, it is a kokram, it is a yare biara. And until a here, so will be HIV is yare. Yet it's 3 years so ana empo. Your bonny bay, ana your bonny eating money.
People living with HIV/AIDS are just like you and me. So why do you judge?
They need the same love and care and affection that you and I need.
The Piashan crying. Nani yakese pane say, wouldn't pie boy ever tanachi.
And how many panwa trans at Chel when you need J was under Yabanotono, Ninia Num Nadoff one pool, Nemum bien.
Unfair treatment and stigmatization against persons living with HIV/AIDS is just enough to kill them.
Say no to stigmatization. It could be you.
Join us as we discuss these and more on Fast. Fast, showing soon on Ocean One TV.
Customer and the service provider. They say who falters was in the she team. We are here to discuss this interesting topic. Customer relationship and then who falters. Customer na say service provider no. Anita ewa hase odo de oye backdoor eyibi obe join here very soon. And our special guest for today's discussion, Mr. Ernest Obese. He is a pharmacist. Na as a pharmacist, look for a banner shop, a bet to turn yama, or you for kita home. As a service provider, no so anything, we can't be a crowd as to how he handles his customers. We share some of these things, and out of that, we can pick a thing or two to be able to also help our friends and family who come to us for services to be rendered. Inti, you are welcome this evening.
Thank you.
What do you when you're home? Why do you sit?
Okay, you are welcome. Say mankate.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, okay. If you need Mr. Obese, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Pharmacist papa me the now the class answer because keep post Abraham in fact any Accra baby adi what did you no pa. So once again you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
In there you see a customer relationship master. Now if say you're discussing in areas so you should say question for is who fault is. If there's a customer na a fault at times and I say wow we render service no so na who fault and na if say briefly tell us something about your area, how you render service to others.
Okay. Senior Udin Kankai, I'm a pharmacist. Nitri no mention that no problem. This is or Frafron no, but in my line of work, no, your name nipa bibri edin kita na service na ye render and I say edwuma na ye no e nipa ho adwuma na nipa pomudin ho adwuma no so e wo senia esiti enti se obi wura shop ho a e bia ode adeso bia wonnim e bi kra na yare no enye honam mu yare a e bi ohia eduro bi e bi ohia kasakire keke enti se oba na se wanti wanim ana se wonso wotiatia na ana se wan hyeda an kasa ne ho yi a ebia na yare no kra odi bi beka ho akofie eti usually omo ba me shop no omo ba ozo siri me o ha me welcome we say na metumi aboa wo kwan bi so na nipa no ebi o kan problems no there are other questions bi and further questions maybe sir enti me bisa na say eye edro bi na yesa me recommend and say bibia yesa me recommend mana na ma chire ne mu the entire ebia o feeli senia o feeli na na say de ekoso ana so say ebia nipa ne ba o se o me to say ebia no de ne duro na ana so okuta prescription no the aba enti ni nyina mu no wo hwe prescription no wa cheche mu so okay we ni na wo hia na ebe cost say no so okay enti na we yi ni sika etu usually sa na edwuma no ete ana say say
as I say can be about ebe they doing but we say ebe cost say in our relationship with customers wherever we find ourselves, maybe let's take the service providers as our brother is. Obi ba ohona obeto ade na nisika nso o pamon is on because we say court now sika no cry so now bu me sense or you are forced to sometimes say or add it up if you as can be so that obetumi ato na edru na in whole line of business.
Also no more personal. I know you're more personal. In the generalization no on say sabi nipa no or per service and I say opapumudin say me area na ye example opapumudin na oba enti say oba na sa wonso as part of rendering the service no so open fa so enti wo so balance it too no sa na de na bu anya din bebre such that nipa no to me afford the service no say was service no affordable but affordability no so na a relative. It is sometimes, you know, I've had several experiences of that. It will be bad, no, misika and so. And the also balance in our share. So, also, unhuanko can be brain. Apart from that, you know, so there are times I will be bound oceana or nibi. But social situation, so I'll be here drone. Companies, and I say, there's something that's corporate social responsibility. Yeah. It is sometimes, you know, you use that and then offer the service at if you hold to me to a certain level if you also own to me cry and either say personally the company or the service provider will take it up and I say personally nipo or render service say me I'm say okay with the anyashwe bra now rather say me na metu amount and I say a beko company no account to but it happens.
Okay, Anita, I'm forced to ask you as a psychologist also in line of business. You have met a lot of people, but before then, maybe I'm not after be joining a customer, and then we are talking about service providers. In church, we say can't say customer or your wine, and a service provider and so yeah, or your wine. You to me who difference.
Okay, it is a customer near share obia or access service, as in obia sebi adie hiano na all call be for more. It can be that you are paying for the service or you are not paying for the service. But so far as all access service, nephew before for when you are a customer. And our service provider near one woman in one. And it's either you are also receiving money or you are not receiving anything. But you are offering help in any other form. Okay. And woman will be in one. So now near Oji Mwano becomes a customer. One woman in one, you become the service provider.
Okay. It's also to in your life. Obia can a line of business as a psychologist, you come across so many people. Oh, they're okay, simple, they're different because people come people come and they pour out their emotions. They need help from you. How do you relate with such people? Because we do with their things. So we to me.
And no one can simple. Into my humanity, I don't really think say. Say it's about customer relationship. Although because basically no, you have to be nice whether you like it or not. Before you can do my work, you have to be nice. No, there are sometimes fine obi beka say waba psychologist or on ka say bi otiatiano but e bia senya in common koye no ena neni anhye nanjo. So for the purpose of our discussion there, I may not talk about my line of work. But there are other things I engage in, especially with sales. That's network sales necessarily. So it has to do with marketing. I have products. I talk about the products to you. When you come to me. I get it. I monitor you. I coach you. My main family they name typical market setting or your friends say shopping mall like supermarket. Typical market setting, most of the time a whole problem with customer relations because
you feel say ye na ye ton ade no the service provider we are more human but than near obeto ade na free ye ho no inti oba obisa ade ase immediately me mood asesa me bufu because se wo ben me a it means beto inti esese woto but you know may I sure say as we discuss we get to know that basically nko bia beto idea except for some basic things like running a pharmacy that one they say purposefully uremu se okoto edru but wakoja so na wo kodi dwa no e on toast for bebre a ewo ho enye nhye se maba ho metwem ho necessary meto ho ana mabisa ho necessary meto ho but sometimes ye ni ye bi no ene convincing ni pa say on to we ho ana say e man to we.
This is bringing me to a question and say as a service provider quite person they say you behave nyama be na say ye to make our customers feel okay. You come with you and you customers so customers will home we bufu nti whatever they get is as a result of your so nti you service provider the first. So how should a service provider behave? What are some of the things that as a service provider be?
Service provider no usual example be market. O say wo come marketer uhun nyoma bebre ye nipa ba ko pe na etonto nipa bebre ton. Some people you won't even get to them and I won't compose be a ukobisa adena se but from afar na ampo won't cause also we there no menton ade and I say be a ukwa senior also respond you know now why wadwen say won't talk and I say what talk cry the next time you will not go there it's all about how you present yourself how you present yourself obi wo ho ne nyoma na baby oton ade no enye neat basa obi wo ho a onti nanim obi wo ho a
maybe so that means it's in two folds how you present yourself maybe the human being no presentation
and your physical appearance and your demeanor
a product no so anywhere environment
very 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 important and say can customer relations say be what sometimes sani awo kan ye be do customers there but obi ho no so hu sani out na bia ade no nya wo ba bia nti na oba ho ono zo tumi nka na nuntum na wa be comment on something that is there no na be share webufu no but maybe the person didn't mean it that way or something like that nti sani presentation is very very important it's as a service provider and I say as obi a render bibi ana uton bibi ana we bibi sa no also utumi sre chere obi o baby a you have to wo mo obi wo ho a won nanim tesa nti omuna so ana ye
da bi o me ka say a ofe no be muna obi wo ho nanim a onye on smiley face
onim as
adenne say we muna nanim so no che say onye
we muna wanim no but we choose adwuma bi a wo ye what I say
onim say we muna nanim
sana wanim neti but wonim so say adena wafa no ade a it must attract because senka sana wanim tie no na wo pe na wo ton ade na nke ye different and then go for beba monopoly will be at work but we know wonim say competition there are other people around that na sana wanim tie assessing because obi eni why you born be we ase ananim ye gbose ya ye de ne bai
no kre o ka say sana nanim tie a I beg to differ because
ono na wama na
ni ma yesa eje bi obi fi no nkura be muna sa
na abeka
na nje sa na nanim tie na obi wo ho a ebia the problem bi fifie nti enya sa na nanim tie but at that moment no ebi o dwin bibi hu ebi kura na dwin ni ye o ye no so nti enya sa wa sheda but senia your sister kan ye no ye adwuma wo afa to ho so. And if you decide to go that way, and I say, won't feel fine, or that something is bothering you, don't go.
Yeah.
Especially in my line of work, and you see, work or withdraw, or be the prescription be back. As I say, we calculate it be a dose, and I say, do also what the man. And I say, you are not of sound mind. You make mistakes, and when you make mistakes, you man, we have always been trained, and that's how we are also training people that the mistake you make kill somebody. And you can't it's killing somebody. And you always have to bear that one in mind. If you are not of sound mind, and I say, who drink bibi who do shop when I now they are drinking that to change. Then you concentrate on the work you are coming to do. After that, now I say alcohol. Because that is it can make it worse. You go you know why be a sikasem. Now I say kumuna na why na ye worse. Now then is na akoye problem I visit psychologist. No. Obi zunza ukwa psychologist wa no say.
Then come here catch obi so ukwa psychologist na me because obi ti psychologist as o pa na boda.
Na dream you.
It's service provider, the presentation of the person herself or himself, and then environment, the product lankasana or ton. What other thing can a service provider do?
I think we have to add skill to eduma service I provide. At the tone service NGO be a naturally at the tone job. But skill na or the bayeno. Emma whom pose enya do conversant with. Like no me pese me ka say waba obeton ade no answer wa hye wo nema na wote ho say me ton ade. Now wote one to be a chema. Look at the way they even market women be. Oh sister, me ma obi ana me who are this school be ne touch be
me baby am ko no friend me sister me to be ana
at least don't so you be to get your attention. Oh, sure. But to me I say me koton ne me to fa ne ma no be she dwana now to wo bosa now to nti say na yembra kan eno no san say problem be na we adwendwen bi ene me makra ni ehu say sada you are not ready to be a service provider. You are not ready to receive a customer.
What skills na makaya cry I have said there won't tell na cry there into more nam traffic ni mo na yaga it's fine na they are doing a form of special service as skills papa bi woman na
yes yes in the traffic they can sell to you. Sometimes Oba Cape Coast typically because the Cape Coast is not a busy town. Oba obi wo on my traffic mu ansa no be ma on Accra dane be before then you stop buying the product. But she Accra no matter the distance.
Accra buyer
traffic mu. Oh ena he senior obeton nipa na ye ready to me say why equipping him say make oton ade na make provide the service. But eto de bia approach to wait ness man too lukewarm too lackadaisical and like obeta ato unta me wo and another thing ejedi for mates for ninko for bebre meaning sisa
to so perfect can na say
wo no kwahwehwe nsisa bra
wo customer
I'm telling you. Unless catch me say was it last week or barely a week ago me who be status say one thing that annoys me pie mate or say woman is cause me needs sound
say oh yeah then
drivers they do it a lot of people and it is here in Cape Coast me ever since I came to stay in Cape Coast it is something I might realize say what happened woman is kana me needs sound and some people go to the extent I have had to come down from a car because driving needs na me kwahwehwe na sana matana
that is bad
yes service. And some market women do it ombeka me needs me nyansesa chese ko last time I told obi say go to Kumasi there is no way obi oton Kumasi slippers and say bibi in Kumasi ebe frel sister unto bi say no be chesu a we is ka o say me needs uboa ni Ukraine no be je go ama no do sika nako no akwahwehwe nsesa but most of the times I handle especially Cape Coast it is not like that. It need na ka skill say ye dey kan because ade ton na say service provider ne dey enye no an say wo feel say wo ye na de ni hia yen inti ye na say ye ba wo ho wonso ehia wan ka betena fi
to say ya service providers what are the things they should do
there's one thing. Okay. Communication.
I need to go for a break for a minute.
Okay.
You try a hosima. We are customer service near you. Kwaba. Hello. Me din Edeswella. Eba na ma ho asem dia. Enya sometimes I told the bi o say yetina se ne yedwendwen ye ho.
Enyimde, emesiafo ye wo ye no dodo a. Dementi ehu behia pa de ne dan nyina ye behia ne yezie ho ye ho komo.
Ye issues ne de doso. Efrifie, ekwa edwumem, ekwa asore.
Die na opese ye nka ho asem ma o. Eya apomuden, za ofaye na abrabon, za ofaye na namuntu ho. Efie nsensem, sikasem. Edie be mampemu agro. Ni na ye ka ho asem ma o.
Ensane santi na shi dwumedie na aba ama emma no. Ememe, mamore mfi mo so mo de ewo mu.
Yeton safo de enye ne batena shi dwumezi no do. Na yezi ye ho komo. Ama ye na abrabon no wetumpon.
Yetena sese ma, yedidi ye ho komo efa aware ho. Yedidi ye ho komo efa yesikasem ho. Yetena se ayesan so edwendwen ye ho kwan befa so abatan. Betumi amare wedwuma ene wo fie.
She show. Oh yeah, the she show.
She? She. The ladies' chat room. It's all about us. Okay, now I will say a render service. My customers be a backdoor. It's your paba. Now we are going to continue with our discussion on customer relationship. Answer yeah discussing about service providers. Nyama I will say oye. To say I can be briefly about the customer. Oh, we are near desire hunty. Who are we as we sit here? Are we on the side of service providers, or we are customers, or we are both, or whatever? Then we see who falters most. This is our customer. Now we are customers in a way. How are we supposed to relate to people who render service to us?
Sanya, a customer is someone who requires a service or who needs a service. It is a idea being here. I will say, and I say, never so who could be some papa and say won't come question. Even though when him say or a papa na maybe it's his responsibility to provide for you. Won't come down and say my school fees no for mommy. Ubeko be a that patrol your baby school now fees no. Then we make efforts and pay. Until you as a customer no, you should know that you need something. So that also when you are approaching the service provider, you go with that mindset. And we are all customers. And as a customer, if you have it in mind that you also render some sort of service at a point in time. And I also often say, the one person will be you, and the one person will be the year no. Won't find yet will be for. So if you go with that mindset, I mean, there shouldn't be any problem. At least Bible mukra onyankopon say, as much as it depends on you, be at peace with everybody. Into work on one far giddy but I think it's not started BBR. I don't think say service provider no best started at once you enter.
Sometimes emergency.
Hold on a minute. Okay, I think people want to join us. Yeah, announce phone lines. Please, you can join us. Mon frère, studio line 0207566 185 0207566 185. You are a customer. You are a service provider. Call us. Share your experiences with us.
Na America dey one as in e be wa pressure da wodo. Should there be a alcohol hospital as when you pay alcohol hospital now what's go to edru bibra. They need it. Na me say me come about shop dem go to edru.
Afi na be wasting.
Afi na ebe here bazi. Ahwe mama much water you be my obi bi o. You understand?
That is just the point that I'm trying to make. You are in an emergency, but you also have to realize if you put pressure, yes, you need the service, and if you put pressure on the person, you make mistakes, and your emergency, it won't even be an emergency again because the person
ni osi wa abra nipa no all mam service no. Ono so why no style be because am aba na say ohwana me say meto edru na say aye wo bokoboko bi a edijema kuma because already maybe I'm free ban.
Yes. I think it's understandable. So in that case, what the service provider has to do is to calm the person down.
Okay.
No, but in the first place, no. Wona o customer na wo ba in an emergency. My service provider, I don't know you are in an emergency. You get it? It depends also on senior service provider. But that notwithstanding, back with that your emergency, because your emergency is not my emergency.
No, but even if it's an emergency and you are,
there are ways to approach it rather than saying,
would you solve your emergency? So what you talking about? Because it's an emergency.
We have not met Uncle Fubi. They can really make you very
I understand
angry.
Because there has been times you get into a pharmacy, for instance. May have been there before, and the zeal na nipa no the best sorry cry say okoya, then you go like, hey, into wood, like, don't you know what you are supposed to do?
More class and more class. But in Pedamoto watch and sana mako. No matter what you watch, you na watch you want to know go. I mean, that my mirror.
It all boils down to skill na ye ka ho ase ya, because the attitude na wodi ni na ebe ka ho.
Nti say I gusu customer. Nti customers nti am ben na o say ye. Because whether we like it or not,
customer say we here to say
customer say bibie mu a onya abotre. To say you are in need, so you should know how to approach it. Then the first thing as a customer, you
but I told my Madam Pocho count. Madam Pocho yentem.
Okay, so what other things can the customer do to this? I mean, Obia or Bema or help. What can you do to the person as a customer? Nyaya can like.
As a customer, in fact the things you can do is quite limited, because you are in need of a service. So if you're able to communicate your need to the service provider,
he should render the service.
Yes, he should render the service. So just like a pharmacy.
A minute, please. Hello. Hello.
Was fantastic.
Oh. Please join us. Please join us on 02075666185. 02075666185. We've been customers and we've been service providers. And to share more experiences with us, we are waiting to hear from you. Okay, the next question. To say I say customer on the Obey limited.
And another thing is, I think it's embedded in what young brother can in the beginning. Let us know that the service provider is also a human being just like you. Inti nia wo ye na anka wo pese se wo na wo hwa ye mfanye. Simple. Ni na boils down to adwen a wo dey ko. Most of the times they feel say ye tuya woka for the service, so we have the upper hand. It is not always like that, because utia can obi wo hono man not out of poverty and bibi na ema ne ton wade just to keep him or herself busy. It is a who feel say sikana wu betuya ninti no. It makes you better than Nipa no be provide the service. Now it's wrong. You are getting it wrong.
You know, there's this saying, or is it perception, or that the customer is always right.
Yeah.
You know that statement
is
a
policy.
A policy. I don't totally agree with that.
Okay.
Because that's the customer is always right attitude. You know, ama.
You feel so once you are paying for the service, necessarily send me a pen of time and be about me. It makes us selfish.
Oh, okay, the customer is always right. It's true that we are in a world of competition, especially with customers don't compete among themselves, but the service providers compete. So you have to do things that other people are not doing. You have to go the extra mile. So you have to be extra nice, even when the customer is so irritating. You have to be, but every human being has a limit. There's a threshold to everything. Every human being has a limit. So you have to bear that one in mind. And sometimes people will talk, blah, 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 you say so many things because there's the saying the customer is always right. But you have to remember that you also be a service provider and someone will come and seek service from you. And when you don't understand the person, and because of that, then you tend to blame, forgetting that but you've also been a customer and you've acted that same way.
I've even said, and with what you are saying, that means that all of us as individuals, we render service one way or the other to each other. And the same people at a point in time are assessing the service. That is, we become customers. And see, the basic line is, "Nya one person will be the bear on me and find you because when you are in a hurry, it's all door into one. Subanya ukite. I would do emergency. Hey brother, ma by emergency into your time. If you were the same person in the box or as the pharmacist, no be with the same attitude. Also, it would be sharing me boy.
The thing is, I'm speaking true. I'm right and wrong.
Hey. You are living pure. And you are following the king.
Even the Maba Salon. I'm in a Maba Salon. Let me pay me me pentem. Another within 2 hours. I have a time to about 2 hours. Although you be mum, not say, hey, your delay tactics beat them go. Delay tactics be na hazibina. Mark Mamboso. Nas I me as a customer. I would really. I wouldn't say confront, but sister, now wasn't.
So if you find yourself
in the other way, nas obia but not open tema. I think that it is only polite. You know, sometimes or your attitude, you know, the way you go about it, the body language, you know. That is, I mean, body language now.
Body language.
The way I want to live, I think that because I mean, obiyam the morning me don't say, eba more that. Someone would a pentama, na make sure na be a BB or them ye BB answer. I think it is only right and polite that make actually oh sweet as me there pentama, mam few seconds or one time no compare. Na joining candor because I best send the one with permission.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. But you didn't program. Okay, thank you.
No. Many days after they come on this, we have these issues with customers and the service providers because one the remote also, which is the customer is always right. But the another one is we have a group of an establishment called Consumer Protection Agency, and they protect the consumer. So when consumers are buying, because they know they have such an agency to protect them, they are most often rebellious. I think we should also have service providers agency, which can also give the service providers some confidence to also not to actual consumers necessarily or customers, but also to have some kind of faith. Because the name is one idea. Not when you have no any news that is some in your hey, sister, and let you around Bambo. If you are a bit more, which is a fake currency. Or I know I got a flip down.
Almost correct.
So we should have an agency or we should have a system to protect both the consumers and the service providers.
Thank you very much.
You see, I am talking about body language. Well, me and some of my friends, we read meanings to body languages a lot. Into Samamba shopper, I think you should give me the good of, you know, you should communicate well with me.
You know, this thing, if someone is in a hurry or someone is in an emergency like that, sometimes you don't understand process. You might not understand processes that goes on for you to get the service that you need. So the best thing in that case for the service provider to do is to sometimes explain to you why maybe there's the delay.
Yeah,
because
hello, hold on a bit. Hello. Oh, we lost you. Please call back.
Because sometimes maybe if it's a drug, it has to be mixed. It has to maybe they have to count it. You don't know the quantity that you want. So maybe they have to verify some things. It can take some time. It depends. And if it's an emergency, you make sure that you won't be worse off. So you have to take your in every situation. There should be a balance. I had an experience with, not a personal experience. In fact, the shop. They called me, an attendant called me that there was a certain issue like that and was trying to explain to a customer, and the customer was giving her problems. So In fact, it became an issue, and I just tried to talk to her. Then later on, I got a call that the customer has reported to Obifufro, like someone higher.
Yeah, hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Pacho Udini, baby, I'll free.
That's what I told me.
Okay.
Oh. What's happening?
Hello?
Unti sani America no report ma obi a wo as so say na nipa no ye kire na ne ade. So what I did was okay. Omonfa customer number mama me. Na me so me friend no and apologize. I wasn't there myself. So omonfa number na mama na me friend apologize. So I called me friend also na me try so make us so me na me pharmacist wa hase. Na minya report say ni cause it was about a price. She the attendant wasn't very sure of the price. Inti oton no abodin. And no so osumo obi fufuro say enye price na yes anet. Inti customer attendant na ka chen so nya abotre na memfre inti sa abotre na wanya. And now Ostasi and so now what we friends say who person ubu me we or me friend me report to police station fraud name and SMP. So now me try apologize, and from the feedback that I even got when I was apologizing confirmed to me say nipa no I say obi obu ni ho a no obu say we nipa mpo o dey I say what take on wouldn't be yenti na waba betena ho nti ono na ha ono no de ni sika eba enti oh esa also say nipa no so nipa because the lady cried also ipa o say say na ye bibi nti na bia me wo ho nti wontumi be hye me so say me a me nimu kra na say me ni wo kra me kra say report me ni
hello yeah good evening. Yeah, Pacho Dini baby I'll free. Okay, yeah too.
Oh,
Robert, yeah, say no as I'm fair back why.
Is another question a better customer relationship no yes who fault is. You can't send me a customer. You can't send me a service provider. You need now, so you wait to me
at every point in time.
Hello? Hello? Oh,
I know maybe a bit almost so no from now.
What's happening with our line? Yeah. And the question is, who fault is? Let's all put ourselves in the customer's shoes and.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
What's happening? Okay, so let's all put ourselves. Who fault is?
I mean, if you the attendant, no, they fault.
One attendant, customer service provider. One
service provider. Today my bottom more credit. I'm not missing use network.
Oh, we say on try my own castle. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, dear. Good evening.
Good evening.
Who's in a baby free? Okay. Yankasa.
Okay. So, some of the heads looking in your show, if you live in also, like, the hotel were out there for the shop. Look on the other example.
Okay.
Now, when you tell them, and there's one. One chicken strategy. This man is rich. Then from there, how come there, like, don't you share and not sincere Sana. Because I think they are young as you are. And
He's listening to himself.
See that men say ma wo read TV no onko from volume no onko from na yankasa ewa amazna continuous.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. It's a sound from Merchant
Falters.
Maybe the medical can say sometimes and most of the times service providers. Especially when a shop and as I didn't auto in any day. Say or your service provider near auto in any day or no falter the most. Because you was subine be most of us was subine be a media and family. Meme de na say bosomi aso and say week na end e betu ameka. Inti yetu ameka menya de however you get the money I don't care. And no enye me headache e wo headache because what contract me ye adwuma ni yo manye ni yo obetu ameka. Yes, inti most of because service providers are mostly omoye rude no. At the corner omo providing it is not theirs.
Akọ shop bi na bia air conditioning oyez na ekede mpocho butom wa ko foam kakra onko foam na madam
ahona body neighbor communication
ana bia wa so na azno e shows wunte be ka so na say mpocho butom wa me be na wa so won so yanka man kasa matwa so ya mpocho mo nko so kaka madam we butia prepaid ni bia you just say that to me
and be on count ahona non verbal communication
ne body action
ni na obey ne
but my last question to this is someone was saying say attendants be or service providers be or instead of providing the service wa call we inquiries e na bufu say adekode na oye wo ho no wo ma meye na wo nwi na wo bebi say bisa questions nti ne wo hu ehinti na say body language okay but immediately you offer something, you give the person a tip, a favor, something that the person is like all of a sudden the mood as why oh welcome. Should that be the case?
No,
tip him.
But that is what
I wouldn't say don't tip, but you shouldn't be tipped before you do your job.
Or you shouldn't even expect that you are doing something before you return.
A tip is a tip, and that's the definition. And no nipa or the mama by force. Into what you owe with Juma. Into ebi obi any you Juma hona or see or ma obi bia. And no cry obi bebrimpo as I would. But sometimes we back so would just take this thing.
And that's sure.
But you shouldn't a Juma woye. And me personally say the delight I'll get in offering a service is not monetary.
Yeah.
Because it'll be by my shop. Now say because of an advice I give, because of a drama demand, and I say no it's worth more than the money, right? Into me personally, no. And yes, when you have passion for the job that you are there, ebi attendant ejumane ya ne de ono de ebi a owie JSS no nya ejuma bia ya na ya fa na afosi
so obi a na push you share but you are there
so
be nice
say at that point no person e ba say
you groom no
and sometimes the owners of the business is any can service provider na ade ne nya nti o fa ho sometimes nya wo ye nti e pam customers business owner no suffer because at the end of the day say na ketua be ba
you take that responsibility there be groom who attend.
How many people have that mindset that it's not my job, but I still have to take that responsibility? I find myself here and I should give it my all.
Or read something about what I am doing. Get knowledge about what you are doing.
Education. The education should, because what for be a better now shopper is the image of the shop. Into the obeyana nebe promote and I say Emma with Jumano and Koso. Into say we spend a lot of time. Uko companies they spend a lot of money in customer service, training their people on ebi or crowd over for MTN and I say these networks na omo customer service for no ebi same big crowd be catch up cry I say wo no but That is how it is.
Some of them on the other side, they tell me one impact because some of them when they pick calls, they are hello, this is empty, and they can't say, and
I said, it is when they started with such companies, there's something they do, corporate something that is about data analysis, and it's something they used to check the customers.
Your call is being recorded.
So now, if you are rude to the customer, you lose your job because there's something there. And when then that is how come now most of the telecommunications they are becoming very nice, because first you call them and
so there's no competition. There
wasn't but now because they are recording and it will come back
anyway.
But one last point in talking about say ABI,
let me give you the floor. So with the last points you summarize everything for us.
Okay. If you go to a facility and maybe the customer is being rude or is giving some attitude which is way out of proportion, I personally say I mean what's a situation na say nipa na so otiana or so otiano, and let the person understand your job and what you are doing. It depends on what you say and how
you have to be assertive
and how it's all about communication. How you communicate something and once me can't and you say
the negative
we pamona say bibisa, but bring that person to line.
Hey masa last obi render service am me na me dem home customer do it for me. Oh yeah, there now why you bibi and I was tying in a positive way. Then what kind we say if you are not na dream you say anything na what can we cry in your west. I feel about the bed so for me.
Why you fast so tian dey ni anjo. And I say if you
no deliberate service provider na asheda no we ni maybe. Internet what tian no cry open up say me
provider no to say me dwuma say na waba na obepe do na obehye and I say some attitude I cannot really describe. You have to just bring the person to line and only Tiana make and just explain to the person to the level that the person has to be. And they say I think say yenina your customers and yenina at a point in time to be service providers or service providers. Inti send ye yedin kan their own person will be the year no and fine inti say we a service provider who say who provide the service apart from service now who provide just your appearance, your communication skills and other skills will let the person come back, because like I say a returning customer is the most important thing, because okono sign ba biuma or bar of the before from beba and never more when your customers but oba and wato when you usika but the money is for the day. But the other watch now no ebi no kwa say within. Into you should be an exhibition for your facility or for your establishment.
Good.
I think na ebeken na your brother
but
mo ko ka hwe me wanyanko bi oton brozo tutun na se wore hu makeup also te brozo tutun na chi na fans also mama wa eba be gina ho you would love it. You would love
and
it. I think that as customers, yaman krofu hu yankasa yan worth. I mean, providers, service providers, yaman krofu. We should kind of earn respect from our customers. Appear very well. Them obaya. People won't just walk in here and look down on
customer
us.
It was your friend
customer muadi.
Yeah, for listening to us, for watching us, wherever you are. One more freak can in there lines ni high and we had so many calls were coming through, but you shut down picky. The ever picking so now I have your service provider. Now customer relationship as usual. We give all our thanks to Becky K Spa and Salon Services. They be our my nimu yefe or my yetin so yefe. We look very good for the set every week. We are so grateful. Pat, Aisha, B, all the others, Auntie Becky, Sister Ifwa, God bless you all so much. Our crew members, God bless you for always making time for us. We are so grateful. And Auntie Fosti, we send our regards to you, wherever you are. May God bless you for all the works. And our sister Abby, she was here to do love things last week. And by God's grace, her things have succeeded. We want to say shout out to her and say thank you to her also for assisting us on the show all the time. God bless her. LZ, God bless you all.
Operation 5 Girls.
Yeah, Operation 5 Girls. No, still young girls kakraba. You better yes on this one team. Still the calls mama nembra. After the show, you can still call the number on your screens, and then we can talk to you, and then we see the way forward. We thank you, Mr. Obison. Customer service. What
Customer service. That's it for
we meet right here. Bye bye.
Good customer. Good.